Masterpieces are often hard to find in games. It's very hard to make a good game, no less perfection. Some games use a breathtaking art style that's extremely pleasing to look at. Some have wonderful game design, some have beautiful music. Ravenfield, on the other hand, takes a different approach. Cue the montage. So yeah, Ravenfield can get pretty crazy. This game is beefy, so let me start out with the base game. Ravenfield at its core is a first-person shooter. You get guns, shoot people, and win. However, that's not all the base game is. Ravenfield is what I would call a war simulator. It's not just a normal shooter, where there are at most about 20 players. No. In this game, you are the only player, surrounded by sometimes hundreds of bots, both on your team and the other. The number of bots on each side makes for multiple exciting and chaotic battles taking place at the same time. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's even going on. This is the magic behind Ravenfield. Now that you know the basis of the game, let's go through the menus. There are two primary game modes, Instant Action and Conquest. I'll talk about Conquest later in the video, so for now, let's just cover Instant Action. The first thing you'll notice are the maps. There isn't too much to cover here, as they are just maps. Instead, I'll give you a few recommendations. My three favorite maps to play on are Island, Rafts, and Temple. Alright, let's move on to the game modes. I'll start this list off with Battle Mode. In this, each side gets 3 battalions, which are basically shipments of troops. If all battalions on a side are defeated, the game ends, the side with remaining soldiers winning. The next game mode is Spec Ops. This is basically a stealth mission. You and a squad of 3 other bots have to sneak around the map, hiding behind anything you can to avoid being seen. There are a few bases around the map containing enemies with a suspiciously far sight distance, making it almost seem too realistic. Too bad most stealth games don't take this approach. Take these bases out and you win. Next up is Domination. This is the same as Domination in any other first-person shooter, having you go around the map and charge up 3 points. However, there are 2 things that are more unique about this version. Team health bars aren't exhausted until a timer runs out. Once this happens, each bar will go up or down depending on how many flags your team has. The more you have, the faster the bar goes. Once one team loses all of their health, they lose a battalion. The first team to lose all 3 of these battalions loses the entire game. In Skirmish, the goal is simply to kill all of the opponent's soldiers. Each team spawns with 20 units. They each also get 2 shipments of 20 soldiers through airdrop. One thing that is unique about this game mode is the fact that when you die and there isn't a shipment coming in at the time, you'll take over a bot, getting their loadout instead of whatever you had selected. If you feel like having control over the whole team, this is the game mode I would recommend. The second game mode I'll cover right now is Haunted. This is a wave mode in which you go around the map activating strange glowy purple balls. Anyway, stay in the boundary and kill all the monsters to progress. You spawn with a squad of 3 other soldiers, all of you getting a new gun for each different wave. This is a perfect game mode if you want a very different experience from the normal gameplay of Ravenfield. The final game mode I want to tell you about is Point Match. This is the classic Ravenfield mode. The goal is simply to have your team get enough points to beat the other team. There are many ways to get points, and also many ways to boost them. There are many flags around the map. Capturing these flags will allow your score to be multiplied by the amount of flags you have. The only way to gain points is to kill the enemy. You technically don't need the flags to win, but because of the multiplier, it will make it very difficult to succeed without them. Anyway, the simplicity of this game mode makes it my personal favorite of the group. Conquest is a global domination with very similar elements to strategy games like Risk, with a twist. There are a few notable components about this game, even though it's not entirely as fleshed out as instant action. When you first start, you're greeted by the only person in this universe with eyes apparently. She just kinda stands there. Is she getting paid for this? Anyway, there are two major areas at play here, the upgrade station and the war map. I'll start with the upgrade station as it's a much less important part. There are two tabs, one for vehicles and one for weapons, which can be unlocked with research points and coins. These coins can also be used to purchase soldiers at every turn on the war table. This is where the action of the game takes place. You need to strategically move your troops around to defend and capture the entire map. If you want to take a captured territory, you can select a certain amount of troops and attack it. There are two things you can do to complete this battle, auto or manual resolve. Auto resolve is pretty self-explanatory. The game simply plays itself, which is a very nice feature, seeing as battles are, well, incredibly long, which is one of my gripes with this game mode. I feel as if this game can get very monotonous and boring. Here's how manual battles work though. Each enemy spawns with one battalion per the amount of soldiers they brought into the battle, which you can bring a max of 3. These battalions consist of 100 units. Once one team is completely wiped out, the game ends and the victor is the one with the soldiers left. This happens every single time you attack a territory, which is why I think this game can get a bit boring. Overall, I'd say that for Conquest to be worth it, it needs a bit more fleshing out. Well, sorry to end this on a bad note, but unfortunately, that's just how it has to be. Wait, why is there still time left in this video? I thought I covered everything. Wait a minute. Okay, so we covered the base game already, but that's only half the fun. Some of the mods in this game are insane, adding anything from realistic tanks to Nerf guns. Both are equally deadly, by the way. Let me cover all the different types of mods, and then we'll end this off with a showcase of the chaos that can ensue when these are enabled. The most basic type of mod is a map mod. This is exactly what it says it is, and just adds a new custom map which could be anything from a medieval town to literally Minecraft. Vehicle mods add new vehicles. I don't personally have any of these installed as I don't use vehicles that much, but I have seen some crazy stuff in the workshop. Next are player skins, which add new models for the characters. I mean, what the heck is going on here? Die, you abomination! The final mod I want to cover is the most fun. Some of the weapon mods in this game are realistic historical gun recreations, and some are the traffic cone. But seriously, the weapon mods in this game are hilarious. Seriously, hilarious. Whatever. Now that you know different types of mods, I feel as if there's no better way to show them off than to make another montage. Cue it. That was some gameplay, huh? I love the craziness this game can create, even without mods. Sure, it's not perfect and still an alpha, but I believe that this game has one thing that makes any game good. It's extremely fun. I know this was a bit of a shorter video, but I have some big plans for the future of this channel. If you ever want to see where those videos are headed, just remember to subscribe, because I think we could double this number if we try. And I'll see you in the next video.